ISS Ground Controller Bill Foster. Bill, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Well, thank you for having me, Dan.
It's a real honor. I've heard you called an icon of mission control, and I know that GC, you guys are kind of the gatekeepers to everything that goes on here. So why don't you tell me, how'd you get that title?
Okay, well, the ground control is, just like you said, it's the gatekeeper. We're the representative to the flight director for all the functioning of the Mission Control Center and for the network. So we work with people within the building, our engineering support, maintenance support, backroom operations people to control the data flow through the building, make sure the equipment's up, running, everything from the front-end processors to the bathrooms. We're responsible to make sure the entire building is working properly. We also work with people at the network, at Goddard Space Flight Center, White Sands Complex, some of the ground stations around the country, to ensure that we have data flowing through the space network, the TDRA satellites, so that we can communicate with the space station or other spacecraft, and make sure everything is working properly.
Okay, and I mean that's something that a lot of people don't always recognize, where it's not just the people in this room are not the only part of mission control. There are people in back rooms all over this building and other centers, other states, even other countries, and you're kind of tying them all together.
That's correct. Last 2 nights I've been working at the ground control console in this room, and we're dealing with people in Germany, in Moscow, in Japan. The Canadian Space Agency, we're dealing with people all over. We got the Marshall Space Flight Center, which is our primary payload operations center for all the science that goes on with the space station. So yeah, if they have a problem with anything dealing with getting data to them, then it's our responsibility as the ground controllers to coordinate whatever effort is necessary to resolve that problem.
And I know you guys have a really integral role in actually the communication between the people here on the ground and everyone up in space. You guys are kind of, holding all the keys to who gets to talk to the astronauts while they're up there. You have to do all the communication flips and things like that. Talk a little bit about that.
That's correct. We have one of our backroom positions known as the Houston Comtech, controls the space-to-ground loops that let us talk to the crew. If we need to set up for a private medical conference or family conference, then it's our Comtech that coordinates with the medical people in terms of getting the right phone calls patched in, and then at the time that the conference starts, moving it into a private area so that the only people hearing that are the 2 parties involved, the medical or the family and the crew. We also secure the space to grounds when the crew goes to sleep, so we don't inadvertently send something up to them and wake them up.
Really thank you for giving us an inside look to everything it is that you guys do, the workings of this room, and what we have to look forward to. Thanks for being here today.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Thank you, Dan.
It's a great pleasure.